Good morning, guys! It's been a while. So I hope you guys are enjoying these storytime videos. I actually have two more that I'm currently editing. I am posting those a little bit slower than I normally would just because due to weather, I don't have really any content for you guys other than those pre-filmed videos before my thumb got hurt. This video is an update on my plans with Kimanie. So let's get into it. Right now, I still can't bend my thumb fully. This thumb I can bend every which way. This one, that's about as much as I can do without it hurting. So due to that and the weather, I have not been able to saddle her yet. It's been raining and then snowing and then raining and snowing all over again. It's like ankle deep in mud, super slick. All the ice is gone, but it's extremely slick and deep mud. So I'm waiting kind of for that to dry up at least a little bit. And I want to just let you know my plans with Kimanie. So she's had, I think, 21 rides on her? Maybe 22, I think it's 21. So most people would assume that a lot of people just go out there and jump right on their horse again. Kimanie is a youngster. She's been playing a lot more. I've just gone out there a couple times a week and done some liberty and some play with her, getting her to lay down a different way and rear up higher and start to strike with the rear, and backing up when I tap her butt, and trying to teach her when I ask her to move over to spin, just working on some liberty stuff. My plans for when I go to get back on her to ride her. I'm not just going to go back and get on her. As you guys seen when she had, a week and a half off, that last video, she kind of bolted a little bit with me, not much, but she did spook a little bit, and she was kind of like, oh my god, what's happening? And she got very nervous. So I'm not just going to go out there and jump right on her. My plan is, because we're doing so much liberty right now, as soon as I go out there, that's all she wants to do. Is she wants to lay down, she wants to rear up, she wants to back up, she wants to dig and paw, which is great that she's understood the cues and she's got it down. That's great. But she has to start to do it only when I ask. So I'm not just going to go out there one day and throw a saddle on her when she's been laying down and rearing up constantly. The last thing I want is to put the saddle on her and have her lay down, or for me to get on her and have her rear up and lay down and possibly spook more. She's never had me on her and then stood up or laid down, so she doesn't know that feeling. And then you add a 50-pound saddle, my weight, on top of that, and she goes down or gets up, there's probably going to be a wreck. So my plan with her is that for 2 weeks before I go to ride her, depending on the weather, whenever the weather cooperates, I will do 1 week straight of groundwork. Refreshing, backing up, flexing, picking up her feet, grooming her, lunging, getting her to soften and relax, getting her attention on me without tricks. If she does a trick, I'm just going to ask her to continue forward. Or if I have to get a little firmer with her, like I've shown you guys in previous videos, and apply more pressure, then I'll do that. Once she showed me for a week, every time I go out to do a training session, that she can be focused and not do a trick of laying down, rearing up, or anything like that, then the next week I will apply my saddle again. Hopefully I can lift it. And we'll put the saddle on her and do the same thing. We'll do flexing the stirrups, moving the saddle, banging on the saddle, everything that I did in the beginning before I ever did her first ride, pretty much, to refresh her. When she can go a week without doing tricks with the saddle and all that, and she can soften to the bungee cord, as I've showed you guys in another video, and we can get her to soften to the bit. We'll put the bit on, obviously, when we do the saddle, and do her flexing and her backing and all that from the ground, and like we would prepare for the first ride. And then, like 2, maybe 3 days before I get on her, maybe in the middle of that week, I will start to stand up in the stirrups again and lean over and bang on them and get on, sit on her, let her hold me there for a minute and get off. And then the final day, maybe we'll do some flexing and then walk off. So the reason I'm not just going to go jump on her is she's a young horse. She's had over a month off, and due to the weather, she'll probably have longer than over a month off by that time. And she hasn't had real work, so I don't think it's fair for me to just go throw a saddle on her and expect her to behave. it's not fair to ask of a young horse with such weather. And, you know, she's gotten a lot more playful. She wasn't really as playful when Boog was here, but now it's every day she's out there running, bucking, and playing. So it's not fair to set myself and her up for failure and have to go back and fix everything in our training because I decided to go out there and just jump right on her. Could I go out and jump on her and she'd be okay? Maybe if I did some groundwork first, but I'm more of a caution person, and she's been doing the tricks a lot lately, and I just don't want that on her mind when I go to get on her because it's setting us up to fail, and then it's a lot more training for me to go back and fix. So some people may agree or disagree with this. That's fine, but it is my horse and I am the person getting on her. So it's initially up to me, and it's initially up to her to tell me when she's ready to focus and stop with the tricks. That's one thing about trick training. People think you can just go out there and teach a trick and they'll only do it when you ask. A horse is like a sponge. You know, as soon as you teach them something, majority of the time they're going to continue to do that even when you're not asking because that's what they've learned. So be cautious with teaching tricks. I'm not saying you have to beat on them if they do the trick without you asking, but you do need to make a correction. Like yesterday, I was lunging her and I asked her to trot and she laid down. So did I reward her when she laid down? No. I just continued to tap until she got up and went off at a trot. She went a lap at a trot, then I called her in and gave her praise. And then she didn't do it again until I asked her. So when teaching horses tricks, just be cautious, and that is my plans for Kimanie. I do want to get her on the trail before I go down to Arizona. If you're following my Instagram, you'll know that I'm going to Arizona in a couple months with Kimanie, and we're going to be staying at another YouTuber's house. Some of you may know who she is. Some of you might be, who are you talking about? You'll find out. But we are going to be staying there for hopefully 6 months. We'll see what happens with COVID. If they're, you know, if we're put back on lockdown or whatever. But I don't know what's going to happen with the trail rides yet because she is very spooky at trains and dogs, and we have both out here. Boog, Rose, and Skyla, I could walk them a couple laps around the block each day with the trains and the dogs, and they eventually got over it. And Kimanie has not been like that. Every time she sees them, she spooks, she drags me, she takes off running. So who knows, trail rides for her might wait until I'm with another horse and another trainer who knows more about it than I do and can help me through it better, rather than setting ourselves up to fail. But we will see on that part. Who knows, with more rides in the pasture, she might get calmer and better, and I might be able to trust her and let's go out together. And she might get worse. Who knows? We'll see what happens, and we'll get to that point when we get to that point. But that is my plan for Kimanie. Some people might think I'm being overdramatic or I'm taking too many caution steps. Again, I am the one getting on the horse, and I'm the one that if something goes wrong, either her or I are going to get hurt, or I'm going to have to go back and fix all that training and reteach a lot of things. So I'd rather take the precautionary step and go back and just show her what she knows and get her back into shape, back into the working mode, and back into thinking rather than playing. And I know 2 weeks isn't enough time to get a horse back into shape, but it's also not fair to just go get on after over a month off and expect them to walk, trot, canter. Whereas I can do 2 weeks of groundwork with and without the saddle and get her somewhat back into shape and somewhat into work. That is my plans for Kimanie, and when the weather starts to cooperate. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!